Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. But I am finally really excited about my budget setup. I have been kind of struggling looking for the best way to do this, and something that is visually appealing and easy to follow, but also something that is practical and something that I can use whatever I have on hand rather than going out and buying something brand new. So I kind of went crazy last year with the Happy Planners situation. That's why I went on kind of a semi-no-buy, which I adhered to until the quarantine came, and then I placed a Joann.com order. But I had bought a lot of planners last year, and I was kind of franken-planning and doing all kinds of things, and I just didn't really have any system down pat quite for my planning or for my budgeting. So I made my own printables, which a lot of you have taken advantage of purchasing them from my Etsy shop. Thank you so much. It does cost me money to list them at only 20 cents, so I'm only going to have that active until May 31st. So if you're still interested in them, you can still get them at the 20% price point. After that, they will be $3 again as they were before. So I have a Tool notebook cover here, and Tool is a brand that you can find. I'm trying not to hit the camera when I flip this. It's TUL, as you can see right here, and it's a brand that you can find at Office Max, Office Depot, and things like that. And they have a whole system for notebooks. They have a planner system, everything. So I'm not real jazzed on their planners or anything like that, but I do like their notebooks. I do think that they're really durable, really nice. This is the second one that I have. The other one that I have, I don't have it within reaching distance, but it had a real plain cover. This was a limited edition cover, but it is still available, I believe. And if it is, I will list it in the description below. So as you can see, it has like this rose gold foiling underneath the cutouts. Hopefully you can see that. But anyway, so I put this cover on my Happy Planner. I have the Happy Planner discs in the rose gold, which I thought was a nice compliment, or maybe it's pink, I'm not sure. So I'm going to get into this week's budget. I did want to also mention, this is the nail polish that I'm wearing. It's called, it's by Sinful Colors, and the color is Acapella Ella, and I will put that as close as I can. But I just got this at Walmart. It's a $2 nail polish. I do my own nails, and honestly, I've been taking so much biotin and just vitamins lately, and I also take gelatin capsules, and my nails are really growing out. So, but again, $2 nail polish, it's really good. Put a top coat on it, it'll last a week. All right, so let's get into this week's budget. I'm going to have to come back. Oh, I gotta turn that. All right, I'm gonna have to come back and kind of give you guys another flip through. As you can see, I have what I pulled out of here. It is raining so bad here, so if you can hear that, I apologize. It's kind of loud to me. I pulled out the sheets that I did in my spiral notebook, so I put them here. Eventually, I'm going to redo these and kind of rewrite them out on full-size Happy Planner sheets, which is just 8.5 by 11 for the big Happy Planner, which is what I'm using. So I'll be doing that, but until then I will go ahead and use these because they are usable. They just don't have the right paper. The only thing I wasn't crazy about in that spiral notebook was the fact that the paper is so thin, and I was thinking to myself, is this going to last me a full year? I just wasn't certain, but I mean, it could. I would just have to be super careful with it. So here are all my bills that are due every month. Here is my May monthly income that I wrote out, and then here is the June monthly income. So I still want to have one sheet like this, but as you can see, I'm also going to get into doing this a little bit differently using the Happy Planner pages themselves. So I went ahead and I kind of back planned for last week, and this is how I'm going to be doing it from now on. So I'm going to zoom in just a bit so you can see. So I have payday number 1 and payday number 2 here. So you guys know all about the Grubhub if you've been watching my channel, what's going on with that. So I listed the amount there. And then in the future, I will be filling in this anticipated. This was my first Grubhub paycheck, so I had no idea what to expect, to be honest. So this was the actual check for 4 days right here. And then I took an extra $500 payout, which in hindsight, I wish I didn't have to have done that because that would have been money that I got yesterday. But I needed it to make everything. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know my husband's laid off and he still has not got his unemployment. I don't know what the heck is going on, but at this point it's just a joke. But anyway, so any day now, hopefully we'll see. But anyways, so what I did here is I thought I would do this in a weekly format as well. I have my sinking funds here, and I did take money from that check and I added it to my sinking funds. It's really storming. Oh my gosh, it's thundering so bad. And then down here, I put what I put in my cash envelopes. And then the rest is what I needed for June bills. So that's how I kind of want to do it moving forward, and that's how I'm planning to do it. I really think that this is so easy to follow, and it's just set up really nicely for this. Now, could you do this on a horizontal or a dashboard? I'm sure you could. You would just have to kind of section off your sections. I did mine with washi tape just because I thought that was like the neatest way to do it. But you would just have to section off and give yourself enough room for whatever you needed. So here we are. We're going to talk about May 28th as I flip this. And the reason why we're going to talk about May 28th is because that was a Grubhub payday, and the 29th is not a payday for me, but next week you'll see both of these populated again. So I don't even know whether to continue filming because I don't know if it's that disruptive for you guys. It's really, I mean, it's not bothering me, but I feel bad for you guys. All right, so what I need to do is actually, oh my gosh, me and turning this, I'm gonna have to edit that out. All right, so what I'm gonna need to do is actually take this page out. Yeah. And I want to do that so I can follow the exact same way for this one. I want to be able to have everything look exactly the same. All right, so on Thursday, May 28th, I had payday number 2. And that was Grubhub. Now, I don't know how long I'll be doing this. I just don't know. It depends on my own work. It depends on a lot of things. Like, I've been furloughed, and I probably should go into more detail about that so you guys kind of understand why my check is going to be less at the end of June, starting at the end of June. But I'm not sure how long I'm going to be doing it, but from what I understand, my furlough days are going to come with days off. So I could use those days to work and do extra Grubhub. I shouldn't have put a question mark here. Let's say 500 because I cashed out 500 extra. I wasn't really sure what to expect. So we'll put the actual here. And the actual was $669.89. Not too bad, because if you figure if I would have left that $500 alone, that would have been over $1,000. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to leave that there, and I will double underline that because that's final. And then here I'm just going to write out sinking funds again, really small, just across the top. And I will be following up this video with another video to stuff those sinking funds. So right now we have Christmas. I just have 4 sinking funds, and the reason why is because I wanted to streamline it. So I have Christmas Club, I have dogs, I have savings, and then I have emergency funds. Now the difference for me between savings and emergency funds are my emergency fund that I'm trying I was like trying to talk and spell that at the same time. My emergency fund is what I'm using to save extra money toward, like, Dave Ramsey's baby steps. You know, he wants you to save so much, you know, so many months of salary just in case you get laid off or lose your job, which is a really, really good advice. So I'm trying to save up 6 months worth of salary, and it may be easier than before because I've just been furloughed, so it depends on what salary I go by. But yeah, that's the difference. Now savings is going to be anything that doesn't fall in these 3 categories. So if it's not going toward my 6-month emergency fund, if it's not for my dogs, and it's not going toward Christmas presents this year, it's going to fall under savings. So these are really important to populate. They're all important to populate, but these are really important because they hold so much weight with my budget. So yeah, I try to give extra to those as much as possible. So my previous balance, I'm gonna write here. And I wrote smaller before, so I'm going to, actually you guys get the idea. So what I'm going to do is actually put up here kind of like a summary. So I'm going to do sinking funds first. And then I will get back to the nitty gritty for these in my stuffing video. So sinking funds and then cash envelopes. So I need to do those as well. And then June bills. Now, the nice thing about this is I have already put enough aside for my June bills. So I don't have to take anything from here for that. It's really nice too because this gives me some extra money to use this week for my cash envelopes, which I really need because I'm really not making enough to cover all our bills plus all our variable expenses. So it's just been a little bit of a struggle. And if I didn't have, you know, a side income coming in, I really wouldn't be able to make this work. It just wouldn't have been possible. Just so many things have happened and so many, you know, factors have gone into this, and I just wouldn't have been able to make it work. So that's really why I needed to, you know, hustle, figure some things out, and, you know, get my life in order. So for my sinking funds, I'm doing, let's see, 50 plus 74 plus 100 plus 150. So I'm gonna put 374 there. And I feel really blessed to be able to add to my sinking funds at all during this time. You know, again, and again, if I didn't have Grubhub, I wouldn't be able to do that. So 669 minus 374 leaves 295. So I have 295 for cash envelopes. And I just need to go over this one more time before my stuffing video just to make sure I have everything in order. I already took the money out, but I want to make sure that I have decided finally how I'm doing this. So my June bills, 0, because I've already covered those. Now starting June, I will need to start allocating for July. And that's another thing. I have decided to start paying all of my bills on the 1st of every month, and I'm going to be doing that as long as possible because I just like the idea of getting it done, getting it over with, and then concentrating on other things. So you know, let's see. It just frees up my time to think about other things, to do other things. Because before, like when my husband was getting paid every week and, you know, I was getting paid every other week, I was trying to plug in all of our due dates, and we used to have more bills than we do now. Thankfully, you know, we've cut down on debts, and so we don't have any more credit card debt. But before, I was having to literally go over my budget multiple times a week. You know, like, what am I getting paid this week? What's coming in and what's going out this week? And then let's start all over again next week. And it was just really cumbersome. So I wanted to make sure that, you know, I got this all figured out. I could start doing this once a month for the bills, and then I could concentrate on the variables and the cash envelopes, sinking funds, all that the rest of the month. So that's kind of how I'm doing it for now. And you guys know I like to change things up because I think it makes it less boring. And it also keeps me on my toes, you know, just always trying to figure out a better way to handle money, a better way to do the budget and things like that. So with this brings us to, happily, a zero-based paycheck budget. And that's how I like it. I like all of my budgets, whether I'm getting paid once a week, every other week, even if I got paid once a month, I want to bring it down to a zero-based budget. And the reason for that is because I don't like having, you know, a lot of extra money. Well, that's kind of a funny thing to say. I don't have a lot of extra money lying around anyway. But having extra money that you haven't allocated a purpose for just leaves you kind of open to more mindless spending or frivolous spending. And the reason why I like to bring it down to a zero base is because then that gives a purpose to every single dollar. And that's the way I like to do things. It just makes the most sense for me. And I don't know, it just makes me feel like I'm being as responsible as possible as I can with the money we have coming in. So that is my weekly budget. I just wanted you guys to see how much I got paid and what my plans are to do with this. So after this, I'm going to film a sinking fund and a cash envelope stuffing video. Again, but this is what it's going to look like when I'm all done with that part. And I want to divvy it up into parts because I don't want to have like a half-hour long video. It's already long enough. So for me, it's just easier to divide it into different segments. So in case you're more interested in the stuffing part, you can tune into that. In case you're more interested in the planning part, you can tune into that. Whatever you like. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And if you have any comments or anything like that, helpful suggestions for me, I always welcome that as well. You guys have really given me some good ideas moving forward, and I always appreciate that. So if you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you stuck around and did so. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up because that really helps my channel. And as always, I hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.